number 9. I'll tell you when, Pastor Galvin. And it says, "For he spake, and it was done. He commanded it, and it stood fast." So when he said it, that was the end of it. It's not questionable, it's not a suggestion, it's not reversible. It's what he said. Okay, so we're going to talk about what are circumstances. In today's lesson, circumstances are going to be time, disobedience, and plots by other people. Okay, so we're going to start with Exodus 25:13 through 15. Taylor, can you come here for a second? Okay, so it says, "And thou shalt make shaves of Shunammite wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the sleeves into the rings by the side of the ark, that the ark may be borne with it. And the sheaves shall be in rings of the ark; they shall not be taken from it." Okay, so what we're talking about is God's instructions for the Ark of the Covenant, okay? And his first instruction was giving them how it should be made. And the the poles on the side is but basically what it is. He's saying he wants you to he was telling them to make the ark. When you make it, I want you to put 2 poles, put 4 holes in it of gold, and put the poles inside of it so that it can be carried this way, okay? That's the first instruction he gave. And then in Numbers 4:15, he said, "And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of the covering, the sanctuary, and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is to set forth, let after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any holy thing lest they die." Okay? So first he said how it's supposed to be carried. The next instruction he gave was who was supposed to carry it. Okay? So Aaron and his brother, Aaron and his sons, they were from the tribe of Levi. And so these are the people that were given charge or given instruction to carry the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? Now we're going to go to 2 Samuel chapter 6, verse 6 and 7.
And when they came to Nahon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the angel of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of God. And David was that's it.
Okay, so in the beginning, we talked about God gave the instruction of how it should be carried. He gave the instruction on who should carry it and the consequence of touching it or the holy items inside of it or near it. Then some time passed. They lost control of it. The enemy had it, the Philistines, I think. And then they got it back. Well, they were so happy to have it back that they decided that they was going to put it on a cart and let it be pulled in by some oxen. The circumstance don't change his instruction. Just because time has passed, that don't mean, oh, we can do it our way now. He said what he said, and he meant what he said. And there were consequences to not doing what he said. So some people feel like, oh, he was just trying to catch the ark. He shouldn't have died. Why he have to die? Because they didn't follow God's instructions. And time is not a circumstance in which changes what God said. He said what he said. So sometimes we get to doing things. He told us when we was 20, I want you to preach my word. I want you to be an usher. I want you to go to school to be a nurse so that you can be in the room when my people get sick. I want you to go do this. I want you to go do that. Time does not change what his instruction is. Just because we don't do it when he say do it, don't mean there's not consequences for us to do otherwise. In this case, the consequence was death because Uzziah was from the tribe of Judah. He wasn't even of the people that should have been touching it or carrying it. And they had it on a cart because that's what they thought was a good idea to do. Oh, well, we're getting it back, so let's hurry up and let's take it like this. That time does not negate the instruction of God. He said what he said. He meant what he said. His instructions stand fast. Okay? Let's go look at Jonah. Oh no, Sage, who did it to you? Okay. So the second circumstance that we're looking at is disobedience. Okay? So in Jonah chapter 1, verse 1 and 2, it says, oh, it's okay. Don't fuss at my pastor. He can take his time. Okay, it says, now the word of the Lord came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, arise and go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry out against it, for their wickedness is come before me. So God gave the instruction for Jonah to get up and go to Nineveh. Let's see what Jonah does. In the very next verse, verse 3, it says, but Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord, and went down to Joppa, and found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare, therefore, and went down into it to go with them unto Tarshish from the presence of the Lord. he had clear instructions on what he was supposed to be doing. He said the word of the Lord, it came to him, directly to him, not through third party, not by a friend, not even by an angel. Said the word of the Lord came to him and told him to go. Jonah said, I'm not gonna do it. So not only did he not go, he went in the opposite direction. Now, I know good Christian people, they don't do that type of thing. When the Lord tells them to do something, they immediately say, yes, Lord, and hop to it. I'm still working too, Miss Lisa, because sometimes the Lord will tell me something and I want to have a whole discussion with him about it. Like, Lord, me? You want me to go? Well, Lord, you know, sometimes I have a hard time with delivery. Like, my words, they don't land softly. They kind of just, sometimes. But you want me to do this. And he'd be like, yeah, I want you to do it. And I'd be like, but what about, what? So Jonah went in the opposite direction and got in the ship. Then his disobedience affected other people too, because he got on the ship, a storm arose, they had to throw him overboard, then he got in the belly of a whale, and then in chapter 3, after he done prayed and said, Lord, please help me, Lord, I'm here. Can you please do something for me? Just change my circumstances, change my situation, change my. We'll put ourselves in a position because we decided to be disobedient. And this was a conscious decision to be disobedient because he heard the word and said, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. And he went in the opposite direction of where he was supposed to be going. I know y'all don't do that, but sometimes the Lord will say something to me, and I will go the opposite direction too. I'll be like, And sometimes the opposite direction don't look like he said go north and you going south. It's just sometimes it look like he said pray and you say in a minute. Give me a second. Yeah. Give me a second. Let me get 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to do it. Sometimes the opposite direction look like he said forgive, and you be like, but Lord, you know what they did to me? You don't got, and you want me to forgive them? Well, what about them? The opposite direction is the opposite of whatever the Lord is telling you to do. That is the opposite direction. It don't necessarily mean north and south, east and west. It means obedience and disobedience. Those are the two opposites. But let's see what happens. So in chapter 3, verses 1 through 3, it says, and the word of the Lord came unto Jonah the second time, saying, arise and go to Nineveh, that great city, and preach unto it the preaching that I bid thee. And then verse 3 said, so Jonah arose and went to Nineveh according to the word of the Lord. Now Nineveh was an exceedingly great city of 3 days' journey. So after he told him the second time, after he'd been in the belly of the whale, and after he caused the people to have to throw him overboard because this great storm came, then he did what the Lord told him to do. And it was a 3-day journey. Okay? He was in the belly of the whale for 3 days. Had he just did what he was supposed to do, what he was told to do it, he could have sat 3 days. He could have been doing something else. If we do what the Lord tell us to do, when he tell us to do it, we could be saving a life. We could be getting, somebody could be getting salvation. Somebody could be healed. Somebody can be delivered. The captives could be set free if we just do what we told when we told to do it. Our obedience matters. We don't live in a world by ourselves. People are affected by the decisions or that we make or decide not to make. Because even not making a decision is making a decision. And people are affected by what we do, okay? So to run that back down, the circumstance of disobedience does not change God's instruction. When he said do it, that's what he meant. It stands fast. His word is what it is, okay? So Jonah was told to go to Nineveh. He went to Tarshish. He was told to go to Nineveh, and then he went to Nineveh. That second step could have been avoided. Just do what you're told to do. Yeah, it might feel inconvenient. It may feel unnecessary. You may even feel like the people don't deserve what he's telling you to do. Because that was what Jonah's problem was. He didn't think they deserved it. But if you take a moment to do what he tells you to do, and then reflect on the fact you don't deserve the breath you breathe, and yet he gives it to you every day, then we should work on being obedient. I'm working on it, y'all. I hope y'all are working on it too. Okay, and the last one I have is plots. Okay, circumstances. So the plots of other people don't change God's instruction, okay? So I'm going to read this last set out of the Christian Standard Version, and it starts in Genesis. It's Genesis 37, verses 5 through 7, and it says, "Then Joseph had a dream. When he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, 'Listen to this dream I had. There were binding sheaves of grain in the field. Suddenly my sheaf stood up, and your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf.'" Verse 18. "So they saw him in the distance, and before he could reach them, they plotted to kill him. So Joseph had a dream. The dream was given to him by God, which is an instruction, okay? And he went and told people who could not handle his dream. What is God telling you that you so excited about, that you running and telling people who can't handle your dream? And they see you from a distance, and they plot to kill you. Because you so excited about what the Lord told you. Had he wanted them to know, he would have told them. But because he told you, and you excited, you done ran off and told them. And now they plotting to kill you. They plot was the pit. And then the pit turned into the prison. But the prison turned into a palace. Why did the prison turn into a palace? Because God's word instructions stand fast. Just because people are plotting against you, they're plotting to kill you, to assassinate your character, to make people think you don't have integrity, to make people think you don't keep your word, that you're not worth the time, whatever it is that they doing, whatever it is they doing to say, oh, mm, really? I don't know. They saying a whole lot of things, but what they say don't change what God said. So let's look at chapter 42, verses 5 through 6. And it says, the sons of Israel were among those who came to buy grain for the famine that was in the land of Canaan. Joseph was in charge of the country. He sold the grain to all its people. His brothers came and bowed down before him with their faces to the ground. Just like the dream. Their plotting did not change what God said. His word stands fast. It did, everything did exactly what he said it was going to do. The time don't change what God say. If he say it, it can be 1,000,000 years from now. It still stands. Disobedience don't change what God say. If he told you to do it, there's an expectation for you to do it. And just because you decide, well, I ain't going to do it today, don't mean that he is not going to make sure that you end up doing it. Because you'll be alive before he is. And last, and importantly, but people plotting don't change what God said. If he told you, and he did in his word, that we are the head and not the tail, that we are above and not beneath, just because people plot, they don't change what the Lord said. So, I don't say circumstances, being time, be it disobedience or plotting from other people, do not change God's instructions. For he spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. Amen.
You know, Sister Toni, evangelist, that was a good reflection Bible study, because as you were teaching, it made me think back to me and you when we were young in our marriage, and when times got hard, the circumstances looked bleak, and I go, it was hard for you too. You be quiet. But it was a time when I would go and I would cry out to God about what Lisa wasn't doing and how it was making me feel, and each time he gave me the same answer. Don't change her, change you. And I ignored or convinced myself that that wasn't what God wanted and stuff, and I kept looking to basically make God answer to what I wanted. But he's not going to change. God is not going to put you in the second grade until you complete what you got to do in the first. I don't care what the circumstances is. I don't care how they plot against you. I don't care how you plot against yourself. I mean, that was a reflection Bible study that made me look back over. Like, 'cause I noticed too with Jonah, it said, and God came to him a second time. So God didn't change his message. He just made sure he reemphasized, you ain't did it, and I ain't going nowhere. So we can save ourselves a whole 3 days journey if I just doing what God said the first time. Thank you, Toni. Anybody else?
I'm in the same boat as y'all, and sometimes Lord may tell me, go pray. And I said, Lord, can I do it later? He said, right now. And sometimes, I don't know, he'll wake me up, and I'll be so tired and so weary and sleepy. And like last night, he woke me up, told me to pray. I did pray, and I prayed a few minutes, and I went on back to sleep. So I know what y'all going through. It's kind of hard to be obedient sometimes, because this flesh do not want to obey God. It's not subject to God, neither indeed can be. That's what the Word of God says.
Amen.
Look, I need everybody to be in prayer for Mother Rayford and Bobby and Sister Dora. They found her brother dead on yesterday, and you know, and both of them, you know, they rock at Gibraltars and stuff, you know, and they say they're okay and stuff, but at the end of the day, the strongest of us have sometimes in our life where we weak and we get weak and we grieve, and please keep them in your prayer.
Pass it on back. Okay. Evangelist, pray us out.